It's 1 p.m. Good morning. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about just creating a really good morning routine and just kind of share what I do. I know everybody does something a little bit different, but I know there's also a lot of folks that don't have any routine at all and they just kind of do things randomly. There is a balance, right? You don't want things to be super structured. Some people really need that end of the spectrum and some people need a ton of flexibility, but no matter what, you should always have somewhat of a defined kind of routine to just get you into the mindset. You know, it's way too complicated to not have a routine. It can lead to a lot of issues like waking up late, rushing to work every day, which, you know, all of us are guilty of. You know, nobody's perfect, but if you're doing that every single day, that can create a lot of problems. There's no time for really like good habits or things that you enjoy doing, so everything becomes kind of a grind with no mental break because maybe you either spend too much time sleeping, right? Like you go to sleep early hoping to wake up early, but then you sleep in and then like you end up wasting time, or you just don't sleep too much at all and you just work too much, or you're too tired to really enjoy anything, and it's tough, right? So you want to make sure you have a good routine because that'll really set up the rest of your day and the rest of your week and lead to something really productive. I like to break this down into kind of 4 big reasons a good morning routine is important, but it makes sure, again, you can prep for the day and have control. It increases your productivity and energy. It gives you time for healthy habits and less stress, as well as eliminating kind of sadness or alleviating sadness, and then relationships and emotional IQ. But in terms of healthy habits, if your morning routine is off, you're going to be off for the whole day, and then you're either going to be too tired to work out, or you're not going to give it your all, or you're not going to eat right. You're going to kind of just eat whatever, especially if you're in a rush and you don't have a defined meal plan. And it's just going to lead to a lot of stress in turn because you're not creating healthy habits, and then also affecting a lot of your relationships. It's going to put you in a bad kind of emotional IQ state. You're not going to be in a good mood. It's going to cause a lot of problems with like friends and family members, and it's going to make life tough. So I want to say I'm by no means perfect, but here's my routine. It allows me to just balance so many things in a given day that often I see friends and family really struggling with. And that's why I felt that I wanted to kind of make a video and kind of share what I've been doing. I've been doing this since essentially college. And I've changed a couple things here and there, and my routine has led me to be able to accomplish so much in a given day and a given week than a lot of my like friends and family and people I know are able to do sometimes in the same amount of time. And I'm obviously able to work, but I'm able to fit in literally 2 books a month, 5 1 to 2 hour workouts a week, which I've talked to people that have struggled to fit in 1 or 2. It's enabled me to produce 3 videos of content for this channel every single month. It gives me time to track my finances and goals every single week. It gives me time to cook rather than eating out, and also cook very good meals, not to brag. Back when I was in school, it allowed me to do school and all these habits at the same time, and then many more hours still left to hang with friends, family, and enjoy life. So that's what my morning routine has essentially set me up and given me the energy to do, and that's how I'm able to accomplish all this stuff and hopefully more in the future, right? Because I'm always looking for ways to improve. So let's go ahead and get right to it. This is my routine from beginning to end. I won't go into all the nitty-gritty detail, but just in general, high level, this is what I do to just ensure maximum productivity. So, you know, first thing I do, I wake up, and then I don't look at my phone right away, but I'm also not an extremist. I think it's impossible to avoid important calls and information these days. I do use like do not disturb and stuff like that in the new iPhone focus modes at different points during the day. But there's definitely like set contacts that I put on my favorites list and people that can still call me or contact me. I think it's definitely don't like, go crazy with the do not disturb. There are emergencies, people need to reach you. Be available, right? And in the morning, what I always do is I wake up. And I like used to have this habit where I like look through my phone and all this stuff. Now all I do is I look at my like most important notifications. So if I received a call from like a friend or family member, someone super like urgent that I need to get back to, then I look at that, right? I like to describe this as just like a quick 10-second check. So just like look at your phone, see if there's anything urgent you need to get to right away, and then everything else leave because you're gonna check your phone later, just not now. That's what I do for initially right when I wake up. Then before I get to like the rest of my routine from there, what I actually do, and this is how I'm able to fit in so many books and like podcasts and stuff, is I actually listen to stuff in the background. So I either just put my phone on speaker, use like AirPods or something, and I'll just listen to podcasts or an audiobook in the background. Generally, I can usually finish about 45 minutes to an hour of an audiobook in the morning if I just listen to that. Sometimes I'm watching like YouTube videos or sometimes just like podcasts and stuff like that. It really is just feeling it out, whatever I feel like in the mornings. Obviously, you don't want to confine yourself too much. You're going to hate your mornings if you do. You want to listen to something fun, gets you energized, gets you ready, right? Sometimes maybe it's just music, but it might help to listen to something while you're going about your routine because it can get very tedious when you're doing the same thing every day. Obviously, from there, hygienic care, just getting ready for the day, shower, all that stuff helps you feel clean, energized, just really wakes you up. I think that's critical. A lot of people sometimes, especially in the remote environment, they just get up, put on a shirt or sweater, and just like get to work. I think that you should still somewhat dress to success. Believe me, I still wear shorts and all this stuff, but definitely like, take care of yourself, shower, do all that stuff, like just get your day started. You don't want to be doing this later in the afternoon during your lunch or during other times when you could be doing something else. And plus, it just wakes you up. Like, why wouldn't you want to do it? From there, next thing I do, and remember, still haven't looked at my phone, is just breakfast. So they call it the most important meal of the day for a reason. Don't pig out. You don't have to be creating like these massive freaking breakfasts. And honestly, you don't want to. I still believe in the whole eat less. It just like you eat small meal and then small meal, and then you can have your large meal for dinner. But like just for breakfast specifically, don't eat too much, right? It's gonna mess up your day. You're gonna feel very sluggish and stuff like that. Get some coffee in, or if you don't drink coffee, just get whatever your beverage of preference is in the morning. Get something small to eat, just so you're not feeling like super hungry by lunchtime. And this way you're also able to kind of delay lunch if you have to. Say if you have some meetings in the day, it really requires your attention. You're not desperate for food because you've already eaten something and you'll be fine. So it helps you get into that morning mindset. It gives you something nutritious, something good, just gets you also filled with energy, gets your day started. Along with this, this is something that I do. Not everyone has to do this because I know everybody's kind of kitchen routine and things are different. I like to put all my dishes away in the morning, so throughout the day I usually all my dishes, I'll wash them and everything, and then they'll be in the dish rack or the dishwasher, and I'll put everything away in the morning rather than throughout the day or when I get home from work, or I work from home, so instead of doing it throughout the day, I just do it all in the morning. It takes 5 minutes at most, right? It really sometimes might help because then you have a nice clean kitchen. I like that feeling. I take the trash out. I like to take care of those small kitchen chores in the morning. Again, it gets your day started, but you certainly don't have to. But that's what I do. All right, so this next one is super quick, just a quick breathe or meditation. I tried meditation, straight up meditation for a little bit. Didn't really work for me, but the Apple Watch breathing exercise actually does help me a lot. It helps me a ton just to relieve stress, anxiety. Be careful, be careful in the morning. You don't want to fall asleep when you're sitting there closing your eyes meditating or anything, but it for me personally gives me a lot of energy. It just gives me a lot of focus too, and helps me calm down, especially sometimes listening to podcasts and doing all these things in the morning. By the time I'm at breakfast, I'll start thinking about the day, and sometimes thoughts can get out of control. So really just leaving a little bit of time to center yourself. I think the morning is honestly the best time to do that, and that's why I do it. For me, the breathing, obviously, the Apple Watch thing, it only takes a minute. You meditate, it might take 5 minutes, but getting a little bit of that in has been super helpful for me, and I'm sure it can help other folks as well. So now, the last step before we get to work stuff is really just carving out some time for yourself. I like to do about 20 minutes. This is where you can check notifications, email, social media. I like to check all my social media at the beginning of the day, like Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all this stuff. Emails, personal emails, I should say. I'd like to check all this information on my phone in the morning, and then never really have to look at this throughout the day. So this way, unless there's a very important email or something I'm expecting, I never look at my email through the day. I'll get the notification. I won't look at it. I don't really look at social media too much. Sometimes I will, right? But I don't feel the urge to, because I've already kind of looked at stuff in the morning. I've already caught up with everything once a day, right? So it's anything else can, unless it's urgent, can usually wait another 24 hours. So this is also a very good time to just take care of anything else you need to do. So if you have any important reminders through the day, you have to call somebody for say scheduling a doctor's appointment, or you have to do something, right? Important to yourself, not work yet, but just yourself, personal things. you'll know to expect those throughout the day. So even if it's too early, you can't call these people yet, like you'll know and get ready to like do these things later. Looking at your reminders, your to-do list, your personal to-do list, right? It's very important just to like, again, taking care of yourself first before business starts, right? Like making sure your personal needs are taken care of, like chores and all this small stuff. So from there, it's time to go ahead and commute, right? This was back when I was in school, obviously go to class, like all this stuff, or go to work depending on the day. And nowadays I work from home, so I just, you know, I that's why it's so hard to keep up the routine, I know, for some people, especially if you work from home, because you can just get up and get to work. But I promise you, like believe me, I've done this, like I've been guilty of that, but getting back into the same routine that I used in college has helped do wonders. Really just makes it feel like you're working again and gives you the energy to perform to your best, right? And just really just work hard. And also enjoy the day and not get too stressed out. Prep for the work day and your work to-do list. So now you transition over to stuff to do for work. You can check your work emails, your to-do list for work, right? Say any meetings you have, people to reach out to, things like that. Like just get those admin tasks out of the way first, and then you can do whatever your job is through the rest of the day, right? So again, like super important. I always like to break it down that way. That's pretty much my morning routine in a nutshell. Now you might be like, Mohit, what the hell? Like this is so much stuff. And I get that, believe me, I get it. I like to take a lot of different activities from the day and shove them in the morning, because that just leaves less for me to do and think about through the rest of the day. So that's how I approach it. Now you don't have to do every single one of these things, but you know, again, some of these things could definitely help if you're kind of struggling to find like the right things to do in the morning, or if you know you really want to create a little bit of just like standardization in the morning and you wanted some ideas. I hope this does help. This whole process takes me between 1.5 to 2 hours, right? For me personally, it's worth it to wake up that much earlier, right? And it saves a lot more time for me throughout the day. So to me, it doesn't feel like it's like extra time, because you know I just go to sleep earlier, so it just kind of all evens out either way. But that's pretty much exactly what I do. I try to emulate the best habits of billionaires and, you know, business influencers, and I'm not super crazy like them, right? Like you know, we all have those days. Sometimes we do sleep in, you know, sometimes things are kind of off track, but when you're creating these habits early on, you know, more often than not, you're always executing them, and it's going to set you up for success every single day, or most days I should say. And you know, especially if you're in college right now, or even in high school, like start doing these things, like set yourself up early on. The younger you are, right, like the more ingrained into your head a lot of these habits are going to be. And then once you know, graduate, you're thrown out into the real world. A good, effective morning routine isn't exactly going to be new for you. So one last thing I wanted to stress is just remember to be flexible. I can't tell you enough. Some people are way too strict about your morning routine, and believe me, I get it. It is important to just have a little bit of flexibility. Things come up all the time. Like I said, there's a reason why I check my phone like right away in the morning when I wake up, just for those 10 seconds, because sometimes there are urgent things you might need to take care of, or you might have someone that needs to stop by for a little bit, or you have to go and stop by somewhere on the way to work, or anything could come up in the morning. As long as you're flexible and you understand sometimes you might have to give up that breakfast, or some things might change, you'll have a much less stressful day, because you already know to really just expect anything. So just be ready for anything. That's pretty much all I had. I hope some of this helped. At the end of the day, your morning routine is up to you, and I just hope that everybody has gotten a little bit of value from this, and hopefully execute some of these habits if you haven't started already. But anyways, y'all, that's the video. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think. Let's smash that like button. Let's get this video trending higher than how I usually feel every morning after drinking like 6 cups of coffee. But either way, please subscribe if even a fraction of my videos resonate with you, and I'll see everybody in the next one. Peace out.